I'm here, alone, in a jungle, in the middle of nowhere in Colombia. I got 8 miles ahead of me. It's time to unpack some demons. I've been an entrepreneur for almost half my life. I've been rich, I've been poor, I've loved my life, and I've wanted to end it. Entrepreneurship may be this sexy new career that everyone's going after, but the truth is, it's not as sexy as these Instagram grids would make it out to be. Yes, I currently operate 2 businesses that do over $1 million a month, but it hasn't always been that way. I graduated from college with no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I got a 9-to-5 that completely suffocated my brain. My first business, BitMaker, burnt me out. And along the way, I lost myself to vices. It's been a lonely journey, and I've kept a lot of lessons, challenges, and struggles bottled up these past 15 years. I want to take some time to unpack the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful of what these past 15 years in business have taught me. And we're gonna do it over the next 7 miles here in beautiful Colombia. Let's go. One thing that really drew me to entrepreneurship was the power of compounding. If you're an entrepreneur, then you likely already understand this, but if you're not, let me educate you for a sec. You know, entrepreneurship is about compounding growth, whereas if you're in a 9-to-5, you're on that linear growth track. The equation that helps illustrate this is 1% better every single day, 365 days a year, is 37 times better in a year. And this is what you're really after when you're an entrepreneur. And not just on the money side of things, but from a skill set standpoint as well. Early on, when I was building businesses, I knew how to sell and I knew how to reach out to people. That was really about it. As I started going and growing as a founder, I realized that I needed to have more than just 2 skills. I needed to be a full stack founder. Copywriting, marketing, sales, tech, design. You need all of these if you really want to scale up something big. Compounding sounds like an obvious thing now to me, but when I was first starting out, I had no idea what I was doing. I was in a 9-to-5 job, absolutely hated my life, going from grocery store to grocery store, working for Kraft Foods. It was the worst. I realized that I needed to actually own equity in a business so I could see the effects of compounding and get out of this dead-end 9-to-5. And so I started trying anything that would just allow me to get building my own thing, coding, building websites, learning any skill I could. And one thing led to another, and I started my first business, BitMaker, where we trained full stack software engineers and got them jobs at tech companies like Shopify, Meta, and Google. The effect of compounding in entrepreneurship is a lot like investing. You know, you put a bit of money in the stock market and then you make some money over time. But the key thing is to be patient, you know, not to rush it. You know, I think people these days struggle with impatience and they want that quick money, those quick results. And the truth is, that's not how it works. Building an audience, creating content, building a community, getting happy customers, these things, they compound over time. And the most important thing, just like investing, is to just let compounding work its magic. Although a lot has changed, there are some parts of entrepreneurship, for me at least, that have stayed the same. And one of those concepts is deep work. Deep work to me is sacred time that you have each day to focus and work on your most important tasks. I wake up every day around 6 a.m., slow down, get ready, and from 7 a.m. till 11 a.m., I block out all distractions. It's just me, my computer, a notebook with a clear checklist, my headphones, and a great playlist, either on brain.fm or listening to some Burning Man set, from Kinda Music. Brain.fm is essentially a website you can go to. You can go and select different playlists that go and sync your brain waves with the music and then set a timer. I'll go and set a timer for 4 hours every morning, and my goal is to work straight through those 4 hours on generally the 9 things that I set out to do, which I've written down in my notebook the night before. And so I'm waking up with purpose. I know what I need to get done, and I'm just going through those tasks from 1 through to 9. And then after those 4 hours, generally taking a break in nature. Those 4 hours are something that have stayed consistent for me the last 15 years building businesses. I think there's nothing more important than setting aside that time for yourself daily. If you can't go and set aside time where you can focus daily on what's most important to you, then what you're really after may never come, because time just slips you by and you never prioritize your most important things in life. And so the next thing you may be trying to figure out is, well, how do I figure out even what to deep work on? You may be so confused, so overwhelmed, so lost. Well, the first things first is doing anything is better than doing nothing. The most addictive drug in the world is momentum. And so give yourself permission just to work on whatever you think is going to be that next step forward. Just taking action leads to a feeling of progress, leads to you feeling like, the wind's at your back. And before you know it, you're stacking up a bunch of wins. How I figure out what to work on is simply by looking at my 10-year goals and then working back from there at what I need to get done over the next 3 years, 1 year, 90 days, then the next 30 days. And from there, I'm very clear on, what success looks like. And I make sure that in a given week, my goals ladder up to completing those 30-day tasks. And so I think the most important concept for you to understand at the very least is this. The biggest leverage thing you can do is, before you go to bed, make sure that you write down the 9 things that you want to complete the next day. I think that subconsciously, when you're asleep, you start to process those tasks. You start to kind of formulate solutions to them. And most importantly, you wake up with drive, with a sense of purpose and clarity to get after it, versus just waking up in a malaise, confused, and having no purpose or clarity in terms of what you're supposed to get done that day. And so you wake up, you have your 9 things, they're written down, and boom, you're off to the races. I think there are 2 kind of founders out there. The first founder, sees some initial success, then, hits a bump in the road. And sure enough, they don't know how to get out of it because they're only, capable with the skills that they initially had and feel like they have no ability to learn. Second kind of founder hits a patch where they're not sure what to do, just like this. And sure enough, they learn their way through it, right? When I first got started in business, I didn't know all that much. In fact, I didn't really know anything. I started picking up how to sell by just getting out there and giving it a shot. And sure enough, I ended up learning a couple skill sets pretty quickly. Sales and reaching out to folks. But I quickly learned that wasn't enough to get me by. Marketing is a whole other beast, and you can go and reach out to people all day, but it's a lot better if you can just have people coming to you like a magnet. And so I started learning the skill of writing online, of creating videos, creating content, and everything changed for me. And had I not had that desire to learn, I would have never, entered those uncomfortable paths. I would have never even tried to make content, never even tried to grow an audience or grow my personal brand. So some of you may be wondering, well, how do I go and learn new stuff? Well, first things first, learning's not pretty. Oftentimes it's just, picking up a book, buying that course, joining a mastermind, finding a mentor, or reaching out to a coach. Just anything that, gets you moving in the right direction. So when it comes to learning over my own career, there have been a few really standout sources for me. One is books. The concept of a book is actually kind of trippy when you think about it, You got this ability to go and kind of follow along a brilliant author and learn directly from their best lessons. And so one book that really stood out for me was The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Naval Ravikant is founder of AngelList, prolific investor in the Valley, and a legendary founder. And I love how the book dissects his own philosophy on life, business, and his approach to just living a great life. And so, one thing that really stood out for me from that book is, hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life. If it feels hard, if it feels difficult, you're probably doing something right. On the other hand, the easy life of sitting on the couch or just relying on the same old skills you've always had, while it feels easy in the short term, you're probably signing yourself up for a hard life in the long term. The second source for me that's been really transformative is coaches and mentorship. So years ago, from all the stress of building my first business, I burnt myself out, and a doctor told me to go get a life coach. I was like, what the hell? A doctor telling me to get a life coach? But sure enough, I went and got a coach. His name's Ryan Begelman, and Ryan's been one of the most transformative people in my life. He's taught me how to manage my emotions. He's taught me how to better deal with stress and how to find more positive mechanisms for coping with the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So learning is good and all, but where the magic really starts is when you prioritize taking swift action. Action breeds momentum, and momentum breeds results. When it comes to taking action, you may be wondering, well, what do I take action on? I feel like one good mental model here, which I was inspired by Peter Thiel on this one, is think about your 10-year vision. And how could you accomplish that 10-year vision in 6 months? Now this caused you to really take some big swings because you don't have all the time in the world. You got to go and really get going fast. Another mental model I find very useful comes from Mel Robbins, and it's called the 5-second rule. And so how it works is this: when you know you need to accomplish something, give yourself 5 seconds to then go and get started on that thing. Don't let yourself procrastinate. Procrastination is the worst disease of the 21st century. And so if you think of something that you need to get going on, get going immediately. There's a rule called Parkinson's law. If you give yourself a month to do something, it's gonna take a month. You give yourself a week, it's gonna take a week. You give yourself a day, well, it's just gonna take a day. And so I think what you wanna do is you wanna shorten those loops so that you don't give yourself all the time in the world to get things done, because you know what? You don't have all the time in the world. When you're small and you're getting going, speed is your competitive advantage. And so while all the other guys are taking forever to get moving, you can win by just moving faster. So when I talk about taking swift action, the key thing here is I don't mean on just anything. The worst thing you can do is just say yes to a bunch of distractions. And the most important thing as a founder is to be discerning. It's to have good judgment. You got to know what to say hell yes to, and then not be afraid to just say no. Warren Buffett, one of the richest guys alive, basically just gets paid to sit on his hands and say no to 99% of things, so that the one yes he does say, he can put all his chips on that. I learned this lesson the hard way in life. I had an opportunity, years ago, where I started working on a business, and for 6 months, I was working on that thing and realized I should have said no day one. I got clear on my criteria, and it turns out my criteria for starting anything, I need to control 95% of the business. I need to love the customer. I need to love the problem. I need to be able to build that thing in 3 months or less. I need to be able to build distribution on it day one. And it's got to have the ability to make $5 million a year within the first 2 years. And this particular opportunity that I found myself working on for 6 months, I had co-founders. And you know what I've learned over the years? Fuck co-founders. This opportunity, I just wasted a bunch of fucking time. You want to get clear on your criteria. What are the opportunities that you're going to say yes to? And what are the criteria you need to see in any opportunity? If you don't see those criteria, say no. Don't feel like you need to jump at everything. You only have so much time in a day. And so focus. Don't think that you got to say yes to everything. No is oftentimes the most powerful response. But the other side of that equation, obviously, is yes. How do you know when to actually say yes to something? And the reality is, I like this concept called whole body yes. And it's how I make decisions now in my life. And it goes something like this. When you go and are considering any given opportunity, you got to kind of feel into your head, your mind, your body, your heart, your soul. How does it feel? How does it feel to say yes to that next move? How does it feel to say yes to that potential partner? How does it feel to say yes to that business idea? If it doesn't feel right in your mind, then don't overthink it. Just say no. If it doesn't feel right in your heart, trust it. Say no. If it doesn't feel right in your gut, same deal. Just say no. Only say yes to things in life that are a whole body yes, that you feel aligned throughout your whole body and excited, invigorated to move forward in that direction. That's what we call a hell yes. The worst kind of entrepreneur is the entrepreneur that says yes to everything. You want to go, be discerning, and only say yes to the stuff that makes sense. Whew. Made it out of the jungle. We're moving here. But we're not done. Still 3 miles to go. right, now that you've made a little more space in your life by saying no, it's time to fill it with the most important thing, your health. All right, let me just set that up. There we go. Nice. Okay. The next lesson I had to learn the hard way is that healthy founders build healthy businesses. When I was building my first business, I smoked daily, I drank too often, and succumbed to a bunch of other vices. And while we ended up having a successful exit, I nearly died along the way. What I learned is that building a business is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about longevity, it's about sustainability, and it's about staying in the game for the long term. I think that too many founders burn themselves out by thinking that they got to just rush everything. You got to take a step back and perform a little bit of like the regret minimization test. Look at yourself when you're 82 years old and look back on your life now. What are you going to wish you had done? And oftentimes it comes down to things like this, getting out into nature, slowing down, relaxing, enjoying yourself. You're going to be successful. The question is, what would you do if you knew you would be successful? You'd likely get outside, explore, go on that trip, take that vacation. I make an effort every 6 weeks to go on what I call a soul trip, which is essentially just a spontaneous trip out to a national park, just like this in Colombia. Been to Yosemite, Big Sur, Joshua Tree, somewhere just to escape, turn off my phone, unplug with a good friend, and just go relax. I think it's these moments that end up giving you a lot more clarity in your business and giving you the ability to actually see where you want to go. I find when you're just rushing all the time, oftentimes you end up working really hard, but going in completely the wrong direction. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And just slowing down, building good systems around your health, meditating to feel calm, reading to bring clarity, running to get the heart pumping, lifting weights to really challenge yourself and build resilience, doing the things that make you feel full, give you energy, make you feel good, so you can bring that energy back to your mission, to your vision, and accelerate things. One belief I've learned over the years is that entrepreneurs are athletes. And when you think about the stress that we're under, the relentlessness that's required to day after day, no matter whether you're having a good day or a bad day, you got to get after it. And just like great athletes need to train and need coaches, you need to train, you need a coach, and you need to prioritize your health. When you're going and you're smoking, drinking, watching porn, just miserable, that's going to translate to your outer world, and your business is going to be a reflection of how you feel. Similarly, you're taking care of yourself, you feel full, you're making things happen, you're running, your vitality is ripping. You're hiking, you're exploring nature, you're getting outside, you're feeling good. The business around you is a reflection of that, and it grows. While you may win in the short term by just grinding your face off and hustling overnight, I can promise you it's not worth it in the long term. And I speak from experience, unfortunately. So that when you make all the money in the world, you're not just some person that can hardly walk or is fat as hell. You want to be someone that can go and hike, a 10,000 foot peak at 55 with your family and your kids and look back without regrets. My belief is that it takes a community to raise a founder. And the saying that your network is your net worth is incredibly true. And so let's dive into that one on this next leg of the hike. Oh, there you go. All right. you're looking to build, a multiple 7-figure or even 8-figure business, you need to build an amazing network. The way I think about this is like building a personal board of advisors. Think about all the areas of your business that you need to be successful in. Marketing, sales, tech, design. Who do you have around you that can really help advise you in all of those core areas? But don't think that you need to do it all alone. Now you may be wondering, well then how do I go network? And what does this mean? Well, generally I think networking's got a bad rap because a bunch of people don't know what they're doing and they just ask folks, and that's the wrong way to go about it. What you want to be doing is really giving back to people, right? If there's someone you want to reach out to, find a way that you can actually help them. You probably have skills or some knowledge and is there a way that you can first be of assistance to someone so that, you're building some goodwill and building a real long-term relationship versus making something, super transactional. I know along my journey, mentors, have been everything. My first business was nearly shut down. That's a whole other story, but it was Chamath, the legend that grew Facebook from 1 million to 1 billion users, that ended up helping me out and saving my business. When I needed to get out of a super sticky situation, I met up with Chamath. We went for a walk around Ottawa, Canada. He realized that the government was looking to shut us down for some ridiculous reasons, and he believed that our business needed to exist. And sure enough, made a couple calls, and that was that. We were back in business in a week. If that doesn't prove the importance of your network, well then, I don't know what will. Opportunities, they don't happen in isolation. Get outside the building, meet new people. You never know where any relationship will go. I've had some crazy scenarios. I reach out to someone that I think will be a mentor, and then one thing leads to another, and they invest in my company. Or, 1 minute you're just helping someone out with their business and helping them grow, and the next thing you know, they're a customer. And so, as you're growing, don't be shy. Reach out to folks. Find a way to connect with others. You don't need to go the journey of entrepreneurship alone. It's lonely enough as it is. So you don't need to make it any lonelier.
Steve Jobs, Rick Rubin, the Beatles. They all understand one thing. Taste is the ultimate competitive advantage. Too many founders these days are focused on just shipping products or creating content. And what gets lost in the mix of all this is the art, the love, the intention. Slowing down and making something that you're not just proud of tomorrow, but you're going to be proud of in 20 years, in 50 years. Something that's going to stand the test of time. The business knowledge that I've gone over here, it took me 15 years to learn. Pain, agony. That's a lot of time. I've gone and synthesized all of these lessons into an easy to implement chart down in the link in the description that you can go download right away so you can actually take action and implement these in your life. So go get that right now. When I go and look back on my 15 years, there's a lot of stuff I put out there that was candidly just complete garbage. It was rushed, and I wasn't doing it for the right intentions. I was trying to impress others, my mom, my dad, some friends, a girlfriend, who knows. And I realized the importance over time of just doing things for you. I see myself as more of an artist than an entrepreneur. And I think with that, it comes down to putting a piece of your soul into every single thing you ship. So don't just make content, make art. Don't just ship a product, make art. Don't just build a company, build a masterpiece.
Now, as much as I'm saying to make a network, there are one form of individual that you want to watch out for on your journey. I like to call them energy vampires. Energy vampires are those folks that after hanging out with them, you just feel like garbage. They make you feel down. They make you feel like you're stupid. You know, some way they screw up your vibe, your chi, your energy. So that's why we call them energy vampires. These folks come in many forms. I've had teammates that are energy vampires, business partners, customers. And what I've learned the hard way is the second you suss one of these folks out, cut them. Get them out of your life because they will drain you and they will break you down. You know, I've spent far too long over my career with certain people around me that all they're trying to do is bring me down, trying to discourage me, trying to see me fail ultimately. And these sorts of people, you need to cut them with a vengeance. There's no reason that on your path, you should be surrounding yourself with people that make you feel down or not worthy. If you're not sure if you're dealing with an energy vampire, here is the bulletproof energy vampire test. So you go and you hang out with someone and you're not sure, is this person an energy vampire or not? Well, all you got to do is you got to leave that given moment with that person and then do a bit of an audit on how you feel. Do you feel full of energy and feel like going for a run or, you know, energized to go and start building out a new idea? Or do you leave that and just want to sit on a couch, feel drained, maybe feel sleepy, want to go to bed or feel down? That is an energy vampire. You want to run and cut that person from your life as quickly as possible. You know, oftentimes it's hard for us humans to understand opportunity cost. And with each person that we allow into our lives, we're ultimately saying no to other potential people, other opportunities. You know, if I have one teammate that's really bringing the company down and sucking everyone's energy, you know, that person is not just going to bring me down, but they're sucking the opportunity that the entire company could be getting after. Along the way, I could just be making an amazing hire that could 10x that given area and make us all feel the momentum that we're really after. And so, you know, being intentional, not just about community, not just about your network, but also making sure that you do a bit of an energy audit of the people around you. And if you're surrounding yourself with people that are not going to be part of your life in 5 years and are bringing you down, cut them. Another crucial aspect to your journey building a successful business is, well, what I'm doing right now, which is storytelling. You know, just being your authentic self. Here I am, right, out in nature, exploring, adventuring, hiking, doing the things that I love to do, and just sharing, you know, a couple stories along the way with all of you. Storytelling is really the vehicle by which you can create a movement. Many of you are out there, whether it's getting your first 100K per month or maybe your first million a month. And the crucial thing is that you're not just building a community, but you're building a movement of people. Storytelling is going to help you sell more. It's going to help you market your business, and it's going to help you attract top talent. You know, at Founder OS, we're all about helping 100 million founders accomplish their dreams through proven systems. And my goal is to make the founder journey more joyful. I think that far too many founders are lonely, overwhelmed, you know, and don't have a lot of community around them and proven systems to help them scale their businesses. Storytelling is something that I really overlooked early on in my career. The truth is, though, it is one of the most powerful things that you can do. You know, storytelling is more than just, writing. It very much dictates your strategy. There are full-time people within some of your favorite brands that are just dedicated to crafting and distributing the story behind that brand. How do you go and actually create content with amazing stories? Well, first thing is you want to get clear on your content categories, right? What are the sort of subjects that you want to go and talk about? For me, it's things like, freedom, audience growth systems, content, and scaling businesses. Now from there, you may think about the different formats by which you want to tell stories. Could be things like how-tos, guides, in-depth listicles. Now there's a lot of different ways. One thing I encourage you to do is move from being a consumer online to a curator. Someone that consumes content is just simply ingesting this stuff all day and not doing anything with it. A curator is someone that goes and when they see content that really resonates with them, that hooks their attention, they go and they save that and they use it as inspiration for their content in the future. And so you want to be going and probably keeping an Apple Note on your phone of all the different content ideas that you come up with. Save different things that catch your attention on platforms like X, LinkedIn, Instagram, and even on YouTube. And then next time when you're going to go and create your next bank of content, you likely want to go and use these sources of inspiration that you've gone and found to then draft your own compelling storytelling. You want to be intentional about your story, and what it may look like is first off, getting clear on your mission. From there, what's the origin story of your business? What are the emotions that you're trying to evoke? I know for what I'm trying to do, I'm all about evoking a sense of inspiration, of freedom, and of adventure. And so I'd recommend that you go and you write down your origin story. What are your missions? What's your 10-year vision? And how can you use your story in things like your onboarding, your hiring, your marketing to attract more of your dream customer? Every single lesson I've shared with you throughout this video and this hike wouldn't be possible without systems. When it comes to video, content, branding, storytelling, hiring, onboarding, all of these pieces of your business require systems. Entrepreneurship is a marathon and it's not a sprint. And so to stay in the game long enough, you need to make sure that you have sustainable systems so you can run a calm company. A company where you don't have crises, you don't have constant chaos, where you can breathe. It's peaceful, it's enjoyable, it's sustainable. So to create systems, I like to go and generally just keep it simple, right? The best systems are the ones that are followed. And so for all core areas of your business, you want to go and document, exactly what are the 7 to 10 steps to go and complete that given task. You're going to go and list those all out in a Google Doc. Then typically I'll use Loom to go and record myself actually performing that task for around 5 to 10 minutes. And then from there I have the video, I have the actual documentation, and now I'll go add this to a Notion company wiki that looks like this. All right, so this is a Notion company wiki. Inside of this, I keep all of the core systems for Founder OS so that whether you're an existing teammate that needs to navigate something that we've created, you can easily go and reference it and find it quickly inside of the wiki. Or if you're a new team member that we've just onboarded, you can easily go and navigate all the core company documents inside of one home base. This is like the brainchild of Founder OS. And so in this, we've got everything. But any one of these areas, you can see how we script long form and some of the upcoming concepts we have. You can see all the different deep work prompts that I have for using ChatGPT to quickly bang out different outlines or landing pages. Similarly, you can see every single role in the company, all the job descriptions. You can see, how we go and run our sales, things like our pitch and the exact script we use. So anything FounderUs related, when we create it, it's systemized and then it's inputted into this FounderUs wiki so it's referenceable and scalable. I simply have all of the different tasks organized across the entire company by department, and thereby people on the team, when they need to reference a certain system, they can go and refer to the Google Doc and the Loom video. And it's especially useful for new team members, so when you're hiring, you're able to bring people up to speed in record time so that those people can go from newbie to expert in a matter of 60 days. Document your systems across your company to get true freedom. If you want to work 4 hours a day, build systems. If you want to have a strong company, build systems. If you want the ability to achieve real freedom in life, build systems. If you want to be able to go and hike around jungles in Colombia on a Wednesday and pass the 1 month test, knowing that when you come back to your business, it's stronger than when you left it, build systems. Systems equal freedom. This channel is dedicated to stories and to systems, which are two essential components to every successful business. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love my next video over here, which is how I work 4 hours a day using proven systems and make over $730,000 per month. So if you're looking for more proven systems to scale your business, be sure to go like and subscribe below and join the community of founders globally achieving freedom through systems.